Good morning. I would like to call this LRA meeting to order. I am Calvin Arnold, the LRA chairman, and on behalf of myself, fellow commissioners, the mayor of the city of St. Louis, the comptroller's office, and the Board of Education, Neil Richardson, Shelton Anderson, and the employees of the LRA welcome you. I'd like to call this meeting to order, and today we have 4 resolutions for consideration.
Commissioner, we have 4 resolutions, as you stated. The first resolution is adopting a list of pre-qualified firms to provide real estate services. I asked if we could have a summary presented by our VP of Real Estate, Shelton Anderson.
Yes, thank you, Commissioner Brown. So good morning, commissioners and attendees. It is a privilege and honor to serve as the Vice President of Real Estate for LRA. I do want to provide some overall context as we go through the review of the resolutions that are being presented. The resolutions that are being presented today are a combination of LRA's intentional development of not only bringing forth the required staff internally to move forward with the strategies and the plans that are indicated in the Economic Justice Action Plan, but also to secure our external partners that will be a part of that relationship as we move forward. So there are resolutions that simply put cover the external relationships that LRA and SLBC as a whole requires to be able to deliver upon. The first of that resolution is the resolution to move forward adopting a pre-qualified list for real estate title services. Essentially, we have historically held 1 staff member internally. As we move forward and scaling forward our transaction activity, there is a need to procure external title services in concert with our internal team that will essentially be a part of that process. So we simply put leverage LCRA, the Land Clearance Redevelopment Authority, on behalf of LRA and other internal agencies within SLBC, present a request for qualifications to the title community. That was submitted, it was received and reviewed by a selection committee on October 25th, 2023. That selection committee used a scoring system that has been adopted by the agency to qualify all of our contractors. And so after a intentional and thoughtful review of each one of the candidates that were presented, the selection committee decided that it was in the best interest of the agency to move forward with adopting a short list of the respondents to the RFQ that we would simply be able to leverage in future needs for title services. So that is essentially the summary for the resolution that is being presented for real estate title services.
Thank you. With that information, I move that we approve resolution number 23 LRA 236 to adopt a list of pre-qualified firms to provide real estate title services as required. Do I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved in second. Could we call for the vote?
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner Arnold?
Yes.
Motion carries. Our next resolution that we have before us is resolution number 23 LRA 238. And that is to adopt a list of pre-qualified firms to provide real estate appraisal services as required. The real estate, do you have additional comments for that?
I do have additional comments and also a recommendation to the commission, Commissioner Brown.
Okay,
Essentially and similarly to the title services resolution that was previously presented and now adopted, there was the convening from the RFQ that was presented essentially for the selection of a short list for brokerage, relocation, and property management firms that we would essentially would like to defer to the December meeting. We would like to do so for further review and discussion, and also in part due to the transition of the former Director of Real Estate, Mr. Knuckles, and the transition of myself and now being Director of Real Estate.
I apologize, I'll go back to that one that I skipped it. Okay,
Yes, no
so
problem.
that is on, the adopting a list of pre-qualified firms to provide real estate and brokerage relocation and property management. Defer resolution number 23 LRA 237 to the December special meeting. Regular meeting. Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Previous roll as a vote, hearing no objection, motion carries. Now, moving on to resolution number 23 LRA 238. This is the resolution to adopt a list of pre-qualified firms to provide real estate appraisal services as required.
Yes, thank you, Commissioner Brown. So as not to belabor the prior commentary, similarly to presenting the title services and brokerage, relocation, and property management services resolutions, it was the intent of LRA and SOBC as a collective to present an RFQ to the community for appraisal services for the current and future needs of the agencies and being able to move rapidly in conducting appraisals for its properties. So simply put, similarly, a selection committee was convened, a scoring system was utilized to score the candidates that had presented a response to the request for qualifications. And after the review by the selection committee, it is this body's recommendation to move forward with adopting a short list for the candidates that are presented on the attachment. I do want to put one point of clarification, is there is one scrivener's error to item number 1 on the short list of appraisal services firms, and that being that BDG Real Estate Services was inadvertently added to the short list. So the short list essentially would be a combination of development strategies, Lockwood Group, Neverville Appraisal Services, that this body would make a recommendation to the committee to move forward with adopting as a short list for appraisal services.
With that information, I move that we approve resolution number 23 LRA 238 with the noted change here on the qualified shortlist of real estate service firms, removing item number 1, BBG Real Estate Services. Do I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved in second. Previous roll as a vote, hearing no objection, motion carries. Our next resolution that we have before us is resolution number 23 LRA 239, and that's a resolution authorizing entering into an agreement for property conditions assessment on LRA building inventory. Mr. Anderson, do you have a summary on that?
I do. Thank you, Commissioner Brown. This is a very important piece of the DED-funded demolition program that essentially is a relationship that LRA holds with the Regional Crime Commission. This is a strategic mission, if you will, as a part of the Economic Justice Action Plan, and really being able to support and tie into $15 million that has been presented to the Regional Crime Commission and to LRA for the demolition activities that will occur before the end of this year and into the upcoming year. That is essentially that LRA has reviewed approximately 1,000 properties in its inventory that essentially are within the Economic Justice Action Plan indicators of EJ1 through EJ4. as being the priority for demolition based on the structural integrity. So this allows LRA to essentially bring forth a structural assessment engineering contractor that will conduct structural assessments of those 1,000 buildings. The beginning of that, of which the more important and urgent structures that we have identified represents approximately 300 structures that we would simply move forward and presenting to the contractor. Similarly to the resolutions that were noted earlier, a RFQ and RFP process was conducted to the community for structural engineers, of which we received a respondent that we essentially convened a selection committee and reviewed the qualifications of that respondent. And it was the collective agreement between the selection committee that we move forward with selecting this contractor to tie into the immediate mission and vision of executing the DED demolition program, which we are also contractually bound to. So it is the recommendation of this body to move forward with the selection of the contractor. It is noted that we will simply not exceed the cost for the proposal that will be presented to the contractor in the amount of $200,000. That is going to be for the actual contract presented to the structural condition assessment contractor and indicating those 300 buildings to start with and to be able to move forward with as we carry out the mission of the DED program.
Thank you for that information. With that information, I move that we approve resolution number 23 LRA 239. Do I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and second. Previous roll as the vote. Hearing no objection, motion carries. Our last resolution that we have before us is resolution number 23 LRA 240. With that resolution, appoints assistant secretaries to provide support to the activities of the commission. We could hear from either David, our commissioner, or VP of real estate for a summary of this resolution.
So I'll explain. So historically, LRA has had two SLDC staff members serving as assistant secretaries. Claire Schaller passed away and Erica Strong has come to take over that role. It's been a little delayed, but this is a resolution that would allow Erica to serve as well as Dee, who has been doing that for many, many years as assistant secretary, to either attest to your signatures or sign off on documents to show that they're official records of the agency. And I apologize, this is a retread of a resolution that I wrote back in 2010, where for whatever reason I misspelled Ms. Nixon Harris's last name. It will be corrected in the final version. And so, but we ask for your approval so that the agency will now have two SLDC staff members who can serve in this role. Right, that's.
Thank you very much. With that information, I move to approve resolution number 23 LRA 240 with the noted change on Ms. Nixon Harris's name. Do I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Previous roll is a vote. Hearing no objections, motion carries. And that concludes motions.
The next commission meeting is scheduled for December 13th, 2023.
I move that we adjourn the meeting.
I move that we adjourn the meeting. Hearing no objection. Hearing no objections.
All right.
Meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.